Hello and welcome back to the Lancaster Farming Industrial Hemp Podcast. It's me, your host, Eric Herlock. I am freshly back from Estes Park, Colorado, where I was attending the 10th annual NoCo Hemp Expo. So that's what this show is about today. I think I warned you last week that I would be interviewing people while I was there. So we're going to hear those interviews. I'm going to tell you a few stories and give you my general impressions of the expo and conference. It was fantastic, and you'll hear about it. We're going to hear lots of different voices on today's show, including the voice of Colorado Governor Jared Polis and a man named Kenny who dresses up as Bigfoot. So we've got a lot to do today, but first we're going to roll into some sponsor messages. Okay, well, today's show is brought to you by IND Hemp in Fort Benton, Montana, where they believe in the goodness of hemp. And they are putting the goodness of hemp to a wonderful use. A couple weeks ago, I mentioned a kitty litter that IND Hemp is selling under their pet brand. It's called All Walks. And this kitty litter is made from hemp and some recycled grains. Is a game changer as far as litter boxes go. Don't take it from me. Take it from my daughter, who is responsible for cleaning the litter. Here she is.
I really like the All Walks hemp kitty litter because it smells better, it's easier to clean, and I think our cats like it way more.
Our show is also brought to you with generous support from Pennsylvania's premier hempcrete builder, Americhon Cast Hemp. This is Cameron McIntosh's company. Him and his wife Mel run this operation, and they're doing a great job. They are focused on education and building an industry. I just spent some time with Cameron out there in Estes Park, and so thank you, Cameron. And I think anyone listening out there who is interested in hempcrete or has learned something about hempcrete knows who Cameron is, right? Because he's a giver. He's a giver. So anyway, thanks, Cameron. Our show is also made possible this week with support from Forever Green up there in British Columbia, Canada. Forever Green, they are the distributors of the KP4 hemp cutter. And again, I just saw Peter Dushop out there in Estes Park, Colorado. And if you were there, maybe you had a chance to talk to him, but you can learn more at hempcutter.com. All right, and then finally, just a huge shout out of gratitude to Sunray Hemp up there at 62 North Palmer, Alaska. My trip to Colorado was specifically sponsored by Sunray Hemp, and I'm deeply grateful for your support, Ray, and you'll hear more about Sunray Hemp on future episodes. All right, welcome back. So here we are. It's the second half of April now. Today is April 17th, 2024. I'm here in the home studio in Chester County, Pennsylvania. The skies are overcast, but everything is getting very green. We've got some maples that are very bright. Lots of flowers are starting to pop. The insects are around. The birds are singing. It is springtime in Pennsylvania, and I love it. In Colorado, it was also beautiful. The color scheme there, very different. I was in Estes Park, which is, I guess, about an hour and a half northwest of Denver. I took the shuttle there from the airport, and I got there just after dusk on last Tuesday. And so when I got to Estes Park, I saw the silhouette of the mountains against the sky, and the twinkling lights of the town sparkling on the lake, and it really felt like I was coming into Rivendell. Like I was pretty sure that I'd be falling asleep to the sound of elves singing. But Colorado to me is a magical place. When I woke up Wednesday morning, I stumbled into a really nice routine that I kept up for the rest of the week. I went down into the lobby of the hotel, found a secluded place to do some stretching, yoga, meditation sort of thing. And then on my first morning there, I found a piano in the lobby of the conference center. So that was my routine each morning. And then after playing the piano for a bit, I would walk into town along the river path, and I would go find breakfast. The first place I found, I looked it up, and I guess I misread it because I thought it was called Top Notch Breakfast. And I was like, yeah, that's what I need. So I went there, only to find out later that it's called Notch Top, and it's named after sort of the cut of the mountain that's right above it. But it was good. Their potatoes, really good. The waitress, Candace, she recommended that I ignore the sign at the Stanley Hotel that said, for guests only. She recommended that I just walk right in and walk around upstairs and take the tour and just see if I could tell how haunted it was, because she said that one time she was there that her hair stood up on the back of her head up on the 4th floor. So yeah, the Stanley Hotel is where Stephen King spent some time in the 70s and sort of dreamed up the idea for his book, The Shining. The movie takes its aesthetic from this hotel, and it's pretty neat. I had lunch there at the Stanley Hotel with Cameron McIntosh and Danny Desjardins and the crew from the Lower Sioux Indian community in Minnesota. I actually had several good meals with the Lower Sioux crew. I love those guys. Really enjoyed spending time with them. They invited me to dinner on Friday night, and I had fry bread for the first time. So hats off to Cliff for making just amazing fry bread. But the whole experience was rich for me. The landscape, the altitude, the colors, the people, the subject matter, all of it was just great for me, personally, professionally, spiritually, emotionally, environmentally, all of those things, But that's not what you're here to hear about, right? You want to hear about industrial hemp. And this year, it was sort of front-loaded with the cannabinoid policy conversations happening on Thursday, and then by the end of the week, it was more focused on textiles and building materials. I recorded a handful of panel discussions, and once I get permission from Morris Beagle, I'm going to publish those as bonus episodes so you can hear that too. And some of the people on those panels are people you recognize from this show. For instance, Maciej Kowalski from Poland was there. He was talking about, fiber and all sorts of neat stuff. But anyway, today I'm going to just run these interviews. I walked around the expo hall with my fancy microphone, my Kermit the Frog microphone, and I just walked around asking people some basic questions. Who are you? Why are you here? What's the pitch for your company? What are some of the issues that need to be solved in the hemp industry? What are some of the bright spots, and how your expo is going so far? So those are the questions that we asked. I went off script a couple times and was just winging it, but that's kind of what I do. Anyway, so we're going to hear these interviews with people on the expo floor. But first, I want to tell you just a quick story. So I was walking from the Holiday Inn where the conference center was, like a block and a half down to where the expo center was, because they were in two different locations, which at first I thought was weird. But then after being there for a while, it's like, oh no, I get to be outside part of the day. And being outside in Estes Park in April when the weather is perfect, that's all you want to do. So anyway, I was walking to the expo hall from the hotel, and when I get to the expo parking lot, I see a truck, and in the back of the truck is a statue of Bigfoot. Maybe it's more like a parade float of Bigfoot. I'm like, that is so weird. But then I look a little closer, and there's a guy in the front seat of the truck. And then I look a little closer, and he is wearing what looks to be a Bigfoot costume, without the mask. So I what do you do in this situation? You knock on the door and say, hey, can I interview you? So I shot some video of Kenny Collins. He's sort of the Bigfoot king of Estes Park, Colorado. And I'm not going to play you all of the interview. I'm just going to just a little bit. But stay tuned for the full video that I will publish at some point.
The Bigfoots can put some type of mojo on you that can be a sense of a zap or a sizzle, and they can disorientate you. But my love for them wasn't to go hurt them. It was like, okay, I'll go away. I could not accept it. I was so frustrated, and I went back. And weeks later, I got the second sighting, and it was with the little one that I saw looking in the trees at me, guys. Or around the rocks at me, and then there was another little one with this big red barbed colored 8 feet Bigfoot. So it's 3 of them. So it was like it wanted me to come back, and I did that, and it gave me what? Another sighting.
So yeah, there's a lot to see in and around Estes Park, not just the Bigfoot and the Stanley Hotel, but Rocky Mountain National Park and herds of elk and just beautiful scenery. And I really enjoyed seeing magpies and prairie dogs, stuff I don't see around here in Pennsylvania. All right, so anyway, I'm just going to roll these clips. We're going to hear from a bunch of different people. Here we go. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Eric.
How's your NoCo going?
Fantastic. I'm a huge fan of NoCo. Love this place.
Are you presenting this year?
I am.
What
Tomorrow.
Are we talking about?
Same thing I was talking about last year. We're talking about hemp ecology and how we can use that to increase secondary metabolites while decreasing pest pressures.
Excellent. Look forward to it.
All right.
Kelly?
Yeah.
Could you introduce yourself first?
Hi, I'm Kelly Burke. I'm with KipCure.
And give me the elevator pitch.
So I'm here representing our KipCure Northern Illinois Hemp Hub, where we're bringing together all different verticals within the hemp supply chain to kind of centralize and localize, reducing lots of waste in logistics.
My name is Carla Gage. I'm an associate professor at Southern Illinois University Carbondale, and I'm a weed scientist. I study herbicide resistance in corn and soybean rotations, and I'm here to learn more about hemp as a potential rotational crop. I want to see how this can fit into a rotation to help farmers in the Midwest.
Any early hypotheses?
Yeah, so I do have a couple of years of data now that shows the weed suppressing ability of hemp. So yeah, it's if it establishes well, then yeah, it outcompetes a lot of the weeds that farmers have problems with.
Here we are at NoCo with the Bish brothers. So please introduce yourself.
I'm Andrew Bish.
And this is?
I'm Jacob Bish.
Okay. And your brothers?
We are brothers.
All right. And so we're here leaning on what is this? Some kind of decorticator?
Yeah, this is our new research scale decorticator. We produce this for universities around the country, as well as processors that want to work to ultimately grade their herd and fiber products.
Okay, so tell me about it. What power requirements does it take here? What do you need?
Well, unfortunately, more power than what the outlets allow here at the facility. We need about a 15 amp circuit. Okay. It only runs in its running phase. It's running at about 7.5 amps, but need a 15 amp circuit to get it started.
All right, is it like a 220?
No, it's a 110 outlet machine.
Okay.
Yeah. It's designed to be able to fit through a standard doorway. It'll fit through a 36-inch doorway. Okay. And it can be wheeled around. We wanted it to be versatile so that it didn't take up too much space in a facility. The design here is, what we've done is put together a piece of equipment that allows any type of researcher to decorticate material at a specific speed that's desirable to them, and then measure that across various genetics or whatever they're trying to compare that.
Okay. Yeah. Were you working with certain professors at certain universities to develop this?
Well, our first machine went to the University of Kentucky, and we got a lot of feedback from them that helped us develop this version that you see right here. So this version addresses some of the minor tweaks that we knew that we'd come across, and ultimately we'll swap this out with the university. Texas A&M has recently put in a purchase order for one of these as well, and they'll be doing some testing with that, and we hope to get it out to more universities.
All right. This kind of reminds me of the thing that David Suchoff from North Carolina built a few years ago. You familiar with that?
Yeah, I am. We actually just watched a video of the machine that he was building, and we'd like him to try out our machine and see how they liked it.
Okay. Jacob, did you drive the truck this time?
I did drive the truck with the equipment on it.
Okay, what were you listening to this time in the cab of the truck?
A lot of country music this time.
Okay. Beyonce, country or not?
I'm gonna go with a pass on that one.
Have you listened to the record?
I've not listened to the full album.
Fair enough. Okay, thank you both. The Bish Brothers.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you.
Likewise.
Yeah, thank you, Eric.
Hi, my name is Abigail Cuevas. And my name is Noemi Cuevas.
And you're collectively known as?
The Hemp Twins.
All right, so tell me about that. What do you do? Why are you the Hemp Twins?
Well, everything started off, we started off as college students, advocating there in our community college in Los Angeles, California, and learning the architecture of it, of the hemp building material. And then from there, going to a trade school got us to get more students involved, started an organization with student-led, and we started doing the textiles, the food, the culinary, and just doing workshops. And from that, we expanded in Los Angeles the exposure of hemp.
Okay. And you're here today representing
Hemp Traders.
Okay. Give me the elevator pitch on Hemp Traders.
So Hemp Traders is one of the biggest importers and exporters of hemp raw material and textiles. We have no minimals. We carry anything from seeds, rope, twine. We have anything from textile. We have our newest products, which are our hemp T-shirts with blanks, so you can white label, and our hoodies. Our T-shirts contain 55% hemp, 45% organic cotton, and our hoodies are 20% hemp and 80% organic cotton.
Okay. In your opinion, what's the biggest issue that needs to be solved in the hemp industry today?
I think the regulations. A lot of the banking right now, it's hard to have any kind of hemp or cannabis or anything that has to do with marijuana in the actual naming. So for us, we're known as the Hemp Twins, but we had to do 5 years ago, we started our own business, and we had to rename it to Renewable Twins so that we can actually have a bank and, produce and things like that. So we won't get so much questioning, able to get any kind of funding or any kind of loans and things like that. We came to realize that they don't want to give loans to anybody that has hemp on it, CBD or marijuana or cannabis on it. So yeah, that's one of the biggest problems right now, especially in California.
Yeah. How about the brightest spot in the industry? What do you think is the most exciting thing or has the most potential?
These awesome people. Everything that it could be made and what people could create with the actual plant. You can do anything from seed to shelf to, it's beautiful. The hemp building, I think that's a very big something that we should all go forward. Us living in Los Angeles, California, we have a lot of wildfires. So if we would have a lot of hemp building, then we would be able to save people's homes, people's lives, and just the environment.
Because hempcrete is fire resistant.
Yes, sure. Fire resistant.
Just tell me who you are.
Jeff Koschik with Verve Seed Solutions. I'm the general manager based out of Canada, living in Manitoba.
Okay. And tell me about Verve Seeds. Give me the pitch.
Sure. So Verve Seeds is a newly formed company from two older companies in Canada. HGI has been around, which is one of the parent companies since about 2005, 2006, had a number of cultivars. When 2017 rolled around and Canada was able to get some feminized seed into the country, Tridium came to play, and that's the company that we merged with most recently. So we're kind of an old but new company.
Okay. In your opinion, what's the biggest issue that needs to be solved either in the U.S. hemp industry or international?
I would say number one, consumer awareness. I think for us, being from Canada, grain and food has been our primary industry, right? And so we're just seeing a flat level growth right now. We just need to get more hemp hearts into more people. There's still stigma, or people think they're going to eat hemp hearts and fail a drug test and all of that aspect. So we have to get rid of that for sure. From a business perspective, for us, we need to actually also lower the cost of goods so that we can get hemp into the more households. So what we're trying to do is create a hybrid hemp, basically meaning that it's two distinct parents and a F1 generation comes out of that. And through that, we hope to be able to double grain yield in the next 5 years from the current varieties that we have. If we can do that, and as the transition goes, we want to maintain that the farmers have gross revenue that is happy for them, yet lower that cost of production for the processes, so again, we can get more product out there.
All right. So what's the average grain yield now, and what are you trying to get to?
Yeah, like for us on dry land in Canada, anywhere from 800 to say 1,500 pounds, and we're fairly confident we have proof of concept where we could get into that 2,000 pound range on an average. That's sort of the low-hanging fruit, I think, or the lowest level. Yeah. We've seen some very high yields, but of course, you always see that right at the research end, and then as you transition to field scale, it gets a little bit different. But doubling the yield from 1,000 to 2,000 on conventional and dry land is our objective.
It's a game changer. Yeah. Thoughts on the hemp feed issue here?
Yeah, I support it 100%. I mean, I'm not as involved as I probably should be with it, but I just got a few other things in the fire. But yeah, it's critical for what's needed for both sides of the border and this industry as a whole. If you don't make food grade, we do have a bird seed, but I mean, we just need access to more markets for lower grade quality stuff, I guess.
Okay, thank you. Speaking of birds, the first time I met you was in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and you were telling the crowd about goldfinches.
Yeah, I mean, I use that as a good guide actually for when to start to think about harvesting grain, because the bract material that's protecting the seed opens up, and those, whether it's goldfinches or mourning doves or whatever, blackbirds, once they get a sniff of that, and they just love hemp seed. So when you see them starting to dive in your field, you're usually about 2 weeks away from harvest. So start checking then. That's what you remember. So that's good.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Good advice.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so first, tell me your name.
My name is Nian Yi.
And tell me about the company. Give me the elevator pitch.
So we are Colorado Hemp. We sell seeds based in U.S. Our warehouse is in L.A. and we sell different varieties, seeds for Americans, different latitudes, areas. The screens place are where we already sell our seeds, and we also do sell the equipments for the hemp roller, indicator, something.
And where are you based?
I'm based in California. Our warehouse is in LA.
Okay.
Yes.
Where is the company based in the U.S.?
Boston and LA. Yes.
Okay. All right. And where are these manufactured?
Those are manufactured in China. And the seeds is also from Asia.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And what do you think is the most important issue in the hemp industry today?
I think it's because the farmers, maybe they can grow hemp, but they are not selling them well. They are not sure who do they talk to sell them, and about the end product. The people who made the end product cannot find a source. They can buy fiber and hard or grain, something. Yeah, I think the main thing is to build a connection between people.
Okay. What's the most exciting thing that you see in the hemp industry today?
I can say many new end products that is environmental friendly, like those stuff. Those can protect our environment. And also we talk to someone, they can knock out of the genes we don't want in the seeds, and we can grow more different varieties that can suit our needs.
Okay.
Or something.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate your
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so first tell me your name.
Carl Lecker.
And you're here, from the South Dakota Industrial Hemp Association?
That is correct. We're here with the South Dakota Industrial Hemp Association, and I represent the company Dakota Hemp.
All right, well, give me the pitch. Give me the pitch.
Well, we are Dakota Hemp. We farm about 500 acres of industrial hemp each year. And we also are part of the South Dakota Industrial Hemp Association, where we put on meetings throughout the state of South Dakota, where we encourage farmers to grow hemp. We teach them what to expect, what kind of equipment they're going to need. We even hook them up with a seed salesman guy and a contract at the end of the year for their bale. Currently, we're underway with making a decortication factory. We've bought ourselves a Canadian hemp train. I'm very excited to get that going.
Is that in Winfred?
No. That is our sister company, Complete Hemp Processing, Ken Meyer. They run out of Winfred. And we're Dakota Hemp out of Wakanda, South Dakota, like the Black Panthers, Wakanda. And we also farm 5 acres of CBD hemp, which is strictly for our Dakota Hemp CBD line.
Looking at the hemp industry in general, what's like the biggest issue that needs to be solved?
I would say probably the formality of information. Like, we need to have one person, one voice giving all this information and make sure that it's correctly given to the public. What you can find in many situations is that one person who's very wise and knows what he's talking about will tell 10 people something and they'll understand it, and then somebody that's, kind of doesn't know what they're talking about will tell 100 people something, and those 100 people now know something that's incorrect. So we just need one unifying voice to enlighten the public about hemp and maybe get rid of some of those stigmas.
How about the brightest spot in the industry?
Woo! I think it's bioplastics right now. I think that is going to be the future of the hemp industry. I'm hearing things about people making car panels out of bioplastic. I mean, I know Henry Ford already did it once, but we can have lightning strike twice.
All right. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So first, please tell me your name.
Caroline Matthews from.
Could you spell that for me?
It's CAROLINE MATTHEWS.
Thank you. Yep. And did you tell me about your company?
So we are Tatum, which is based in the UK, and we manufacture decortication and cleaning machinery. So we basically take the retted hemp straw from the field, so it's field fibre, and it gets baled. It gets retted. Retting is very important. Left on the field slowly. The weather facilitates the separation in the field, and then it gets baled. And then our system, it goes through a shredder, which basically breaks down the bale, presents it to our decortication machine, and basically it's a gentle process of opening up the fibre, which can separate from the shiv. So gentle action, shaking the fibre for the shiv to drop out, and you end up with almost sort of 96-97% clean fibre, which can then go into other non-woven applications, which is a separate machine to what we do. But we work with, we're agents for Cormatex, who do insulation matting. Okay. So it's all the fibre that our machine produces basically gets turned into non-woven products. Right. Okay. Yeah, so non-woven matting and.
So tell me about the throughput of the machine.
It's up from 2 to 4,000 kg an hour.
Okay.
And then, if you have an input of up to 4,000 kg, you get an output of 2,400 kgs of shiv, 1,200 kgs of fibre, and then dust as well, 400 of dust. So.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about the the fibre market in the UK, like the farmers? Do you have a lot of growers?
Yeah. So we actually have 3 farmers in the UK have our machinery. So there's one in East Yorkshire Hemp, one in Leicester, and one in Yorkshire. And actually, one of the farmers, East Yorkshire Hemp, he actually built his house out of hemp, and he sells a lot of fibre on for the sort of insulation market, and also he does a lot of briquettes from the shiv, or the herd as you call it. And then we've got another farmer who's in Leicester who sells his fibre to a company which blend it with wool, so it's for the upholstered fabrics on the London Underground. So it's a kind of an overview of what we do.
All right, thanks, Caroline.
Yeah.
And where in the UK are you based?
We're Bradford. Yeah, in Yorkshire. Yeah, Bradford. Yeah.
All right.
So.
Have you ever been to Lancaster?
I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me about your experience in Lancaster.
In Lancaster, I think I went a long time ago, but it's where Morecambe Bay is. I don't know if you know anything much about Lancaster, but Lancaster is. It's north, it's by the sea, it's kind of near the Lake District. I've not been in a long time, but it's a nice place. Yeah.
It's up near Liverpool?
Yeah, it's kind of up from there, yeah. Yeah.
So I work for Lancaster Farming Newspaper.
Oh, okay.
But our city is named after that city.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
It's not as old as your city.
Yeah, no, it's not as old as.
Yeah, but it's one of our older cities here in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
So it's Lancaster Farming Newspaper. We're an agricultural newspaper.
Where is Lancaster here then?
Like here in the U.S.?
Yeah,
well, it seems like every state probably has one, but ours is the best.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, ours is the most famous.
Okay, great.
Yeah, like the people with the hats, the
Yes,
Amish people.
Yeah.
That's where we're based.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so that's in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Philadelphia, that's near where I'm from.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but I spent some time in the UK. I lived in Plymouth for a semester, so good times.
Yeah, I've not been. I don't think I've been to Plymouth actually.
It's down in the southwest.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's a long way away from where we are. But
yeah. All right. How are you enjoying your time here at NoCo?
Oh, very much. It's been pretty busy. There's always, every year is different. I think.
Yeah.
You always see similar faces and everything, and I think there's more of a fibre influence now rather than just CBD, which is good. Yeah, which is important.
Do you follow any of the nonsense politics of the U.S. hemp industry?
I don't really know.
Okay.
No, I don't. But yeah,
probably better off.
Probably better off. Yeah.
In your opinion, what's the biggest issue the hemp industry needs to solve, globally, locally, wherever?
I think there needs to be some more support for the farmers that grow the hemp. To be honest, I don't think they're getting enough support, and I think there's always when people are growing hemp and say they're wanting to process it, they need to have like an end product rather than thinking they can do everything. They have to have some direction with where they're going. Yeah, because I think. If you try and do everything, it can become a bit overwhelming. And hemp for textiles, non-wovens, it's all different fibre lengths, different. And I also think retting's a big issue. Actually, I think in the US they're always so keen to sort of get new crops on the ground, so they don't leave the hemp on the ground long enough for the weather to help sort of gently separate it, break it down. So I think that's an obstacle.
How about the most exciting thing that you see in the hemp space, or the brightest spot?
In the hemp space, I think hemp construction is really interesting, to be honest. And I think anyone that's building a hemp house is fascinating, and hempcrete, it's so strong, and I think just hemp insulation as well. It's great. In terms of hemp textiles, I think that's growing, but it's hard to do it. Here, especially here in the UK or in the US. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Caroline. Nice chatting with you.
Yeah, you too.
Yes, my name is Jimmy King, and I'm the North American rep for Cormatex.
And give me the elevator pitch on Cormatex.
Cormatex is an Italian textile machinery builder, 85, 86-year-old company. And they concentrate on manufacturing non-woven machinery.
Okay. And how do you see hemp fitting into your business model?
I see it as a fiber stream that is used for processing on our machinery. It's just one of many, right? It's one of many fibers that can be processed on our machinery.
Okay. In your opinion, what's the biggest hurdle the hemp people need to figure out?
Relationships with growers and decortication and making scaling the supply of fiber.
Brightest spot in the industry?
I'm sorry?
The brightest spot, where you see the biggest potential?
Potential in building insulation and development of products within that, and or construction materials.
Okay. What would you want listeners to know about Cormatex?
That we are a competitive supplier of machinery, and that can work with individuals with their specifications, with their end product, and develop a line that meets their needs, that is cost effective.
All right, Jimmy King, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Hello, Commissioner Greenberg. Sorry, I spaced your name right there. Your favorite commissioner. How are you?
I'm doing great.
So what's the state of hemp in Colorado these days?
Well, we're here at NoCo Hemp in Estes Park, and there's a lot of excitement here. There's all sorts of folks. I'm out with the governor touring, all the booths, and we're talking about building material, clothing material. I think the conversation is really just diversified in what hemp is capable of.
Cool. Awesome. It's great to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you too.
Hi, I'm Eric Herlock, Lancaster Farming Industrial Hemp Podcast. So how do you feel about the state of the hemp industry here?
Well, welcome to NoCo Hemp. This is one of our larger hemp exhibitions and trade shows in Colorado and, of course, across the country. So we have a lot of folks here. Federal partners, U.S. Department of Agriculture and FDA are here. So many folks doing research, products around hemp, and a lot of excitement.
Excellent.
How do you see hemp fitting into sort of like the future of...
Hemp is an important crop for Colorado, and I believe for many other states as well. We have a hemp advancement program at our Colorado Department of Agriculture. I'm joined here by our Ag Commissioner, Kate Greenberg, who's joined me really to show the high-level support from the state. Governor, Ag Commissioner, we're really all hands on deck to make sure Colorado continues to be an ag powerhouse, and hemp is a big part of that.
Excellent. And the rest of the country sees you as a leader, so thanks
Well,
for your
and
work.
of course, we're all waiting for congressional action to make it easier for the hemp industry across the country.
Words of encouragement to those...
Well, we're doing what we can with what we have for sure, and we hope that Congress can move forward and set up a reasonable regulatory system that will enable and power American hemp production for the next century.
Are we going to see a farm bill this year, though?
Well, you know, it's not caught up over hemp. It's just caught up over the general dysfunction of Congress. So it's not so much that hemp is a problem. It's really just a general dysfunction of Congress right now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
General dysfunction. It's more than a general dysfunction. It's like an extreme dysfunction.
That was Morris Beagle.
Hey, Brian.
So just introduce yourself, please.
What's the question, first off?
Introduce yourself, please.
But am we sprung on a question, or can I just kind of want to prep in my head of what you're going to ask?
Just introduce yourself.
All right. Ready? Eric, this is Patrick Atagi, President and CEO of the National Industrial Hemp Council.
Thank you. And how is your expo going so far?
It is really quite excellent. It was great to see Governor Polis and hear his remarks and see how folks are, really, working with his shop in Denver, in Colorado, and beyond. Hunter Buffington's, has an in with the governor's office, and he mentioned hers, several times, and we work closely with Ag Policy Solutions, so we're very, looking good at the policy in terms of the animal feed and, current farm bill. We'll see where we get from there and a good conversation on that. And, as you saw, we have our advocacy program for the Hemp Farm Bill Coalition, so that was good to roll that out at this meeting, and we're very happy with that, and networking is always great.
All right, cool. Well, it's good to see you. And what's on the agenda for the rest of the year for you?
Well, good to see you. As you know, you and I will be going to Prague for the European Industrial...
Is that happening? Are we doing that?
Yeah, absolutely we're doing that. European Industrial Hemp Association, and then hopefully we're working more closely together throughout the rest of the year, and we can talk about what the NIC is doing. As you know, we reported on last time about the $300,000 grant on export of textiles to India, and we're signing that contract next week, and we have a bigger one coming, and hopefully that works out. And if so, that'll be really big news, and you'll be the first to know.
Cool. Patrick Atagi from the National Industrial Hemp Council of America.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks. Take care.
Thanks, Patrick. So first, tell me your name.
My name is Przemyslaw Baraniecki. I'm from Poland. I represent the Institute of Natural Fibres and Medicinal Plants.
Okay, I've heard about you from Maciej Kowalski.
Okay, yeah, I know him. Yeah.
Okay. So, can you just sort of describe the institute?
We are the research. We are a governmental research institution. We are covering virtually, I would say, all kind of research that is connected with natural fibers, including hemp and also flax, because these are two plants that we can grow in Europe generally as fiber plants. And this research starts from molecular biology through breeding, agronomy, primary processing, secondary processing, so also weaving, spinning, final applications and processing of byproducts evolving during the processing chain. So really covering the all kind of issues. Food, cosmetics.
How many? Is it a school? Are there students that?
No. That's a research institute. We do not do teaching generally, except for some exceptional things. Yeah.
Okay. In your opinion, what is one of the biggest issues that needs to be solved in the hemp industry, either in Europe or internationally or in the U.S.?
Well, I would say that it's very difficult to say. There is not just one issue. Unfortunately, there are some more issues that appear that, for instance, some of them were not present, like, let's say, 10 years ago, and they appeared now, and they make it difficult for entrepreneurs to continue their activities. I think one of the biggest issues is still the awareness of the customers about the product. Still, many of them think that hemp is something vicious, something prohibited, something like that. I'm not really good. I don't have too much information about how it is here in the States, but in Europe, when you say to someone on the street hemp, they will smile, treat it as something, let's say, spicy, maybe not necessarily legal to the end. So still, even though we are, hemp was never prohibited in Poland, we could also always work with hemp. Still, the media and how the media work. Media usually prefer sensation. So that's what most appears in the media, and that's how people also perceive hemp. So I think the awareness would be one of the major things still to do.
Okay, thank you. How about one of the brightest spots in the hemp industry?
Well, the brightest spots I think would be in this context would be the persistence of the entrepreneurs, that they are still, trying to making effort to really to make the living and make their operation running despite all of these obstacles, and they have patience and energy to trying to overcome those obstacles. So, it's either that or they will die. so they have to be like that.
Thank you. How are you enjoying the expo itself?
Yeah, well, the expo and all the event is very, very, very interesting, very nice. I've been here for the first time, even though it's already 10th NoCo exhibition. So I'm here just for, let's say, 20-30 minutes. So I'm still in the beginning, but okay. It's very nice.
And have you spoken yet, or will you be speaking?
I'll be speaking on Saturday.
On Saturday.
On
okay.
remediation of degraded land.
Excellent. I look forward to that. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
My name is Bethany Niebauer. I'm the president of the Industrial Hemp Research Foundation. The Industrial Hemp Research Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit. We support hemp education and research throughout the country.
Okay. What is one of the biggest issues facing the hemp industry today, in your opinion?
Wow, that's quite a question. The complicated legal status is definitely one. So right now we regulate the plant and not the finished product. So something I'm seeing, and I'm sure you're seeing too, we have people infusing THC that came from hemp into a finished product, and you get something with 10 milligram dosage, which is what we see on the cannabis THC side of the industry. It's very creative. It exists through a loophole, and my concern is certainly that loophole could close with the next edition of the Farm Bill.
Okay. And so are you waiting for the FDA? It's like, who can solve this problem for you?
It would be Congress. I would love it if the FDA would step in. They have repeatedly declined to do so, which I think is incredibly frustrating.
How about one of the brightest spots in hemp today?
One of the brightest spots in hemp today is our competition at LIM College, which is based in Manhattan. We are sponsoring a textile innovation challenge. We are asking the next generation of leaders to innovate with a hemp-based textile. That competition will be open September through November for those students, and we are looking for sponsors and donors to help create this path.
Excellent. Is there a website you can direct people to?
There sure is, industrialhempresearch.org.
Excellent. Okay, and then just how is the NoCo Expo for you this year?
It's been a great show this year. I think busier than last year, and I will always take Estes Park over Colorado Springs.
Amen to that. All right, thanks, Bethany.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'm with Lancaster Farming Newspaper.
Nice
I'm
to
a
meet
reporter.
you. Yeah.
Could I interview you real quick?
Sure. What would you like
Okay.
to know?
Well, talking to here.
Okay.
Like Kermit the Frog.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, ho, Kermit the Frog here.
Okay.
So first, tell me your name.
My name's Raven Faber.
And can you give me an elevator pitch? Like, what brings you here?
Yes. I am the founder and CEO of Engerotics. Engerotics is short for Engineered Erotics, and we specialize in the formulation and manufacturing of CBD-infused intimate body care products. And we also specialize in the design and development of intimacy devices, which is sex toys. So we are what's called a canna-sex tech company, so cannabis and sex technology.
Okay.
Did I cover it? Is that it? Yep. Okay.
Give me like the high-level view of how cannabis and intimacy intersect.
Oh gosh, and so in so many ways. So CBD, cannabis, all of the things does a lot to enhance the sexual response cycle and intimacy as a whole. So intimacy isn't necessarily sex, and that's something that not everybody realizes. But within intimacy, you have touch, you have massage, you have erotic massage, foreplay, penetrative sex. CBD is a vasodilator. So the more blood flow we can get into the erogenous areas, the more sensitivity we can get, the more lubrication we can get. There's also something to be said about the overall sense of soothing and well-being, like on your body by using the topicals we produce. Because if you're not feeling it up in your headspace, nothing's going to go on below the belt. And so like when you're relaxing with one of our products, even just using it for general self-care, it really helps to take a lot of that edge off. So you can be in a more appropriate, softer place for sex and intimacy. So very high level, very broad. You're like,
all right.
Yeah, you're welcome.
In your opinion, what's one of the biggest issues facing the hemp industry today?
Oh my goodness, man, which one do I pick? Which one do I pick?
I mean, consistency is a big one.
I would have to agree with Heather. I mean, consistency in testing, consistency in standards, consistency in use and education. It seems like answers vary based on who you talk to, even in the same spaces. And so, that's a really good point. Like getting on the same page when it comes to things like QA, QC, quality, all of that is so important. So, yeah.
How about the brightest spot in the hemp industry today?
All the opportunity, all the money that's available to be made. I mean, this is such a thriving community, such a thriving industry. Everybody can eat. There's so much profit to be made. And I don't understand the people that are well, if you're doing the same thing I'm doing, that's not good for me. I can't tell you where I'm getting my labels. Really, there's so much room to play in this space. There's so much opportunity for innovation, new formulation, new products, things we haven't even thought of yet.
True or false? Cannabis loves community.
True. Yeah, true.
All right, so first tell me your name.
My name's Mike Peterson.
And where are you from?
University of Wisconsin, Madison.
Okay, and give me the pitch. Why are you here at NoCo this year?
Yeah, we thought we'd we're one of the only places in the U.S. for sure that does hemp engineering and editing. So gene editing to knock out certain genes. One of the talks I gave today was knocking out THC in hemp. So we've got lines that are completely THC free.
And what unintended consequences do you think that would lead to?
I don't think any unintended consequences.
Okay.
Because there are natural varieties out there that don't have THC, high CBG varieties. So when we knock out a specific gene, we're targeting only that gene. We're not targeting anything else in the genome, right? Unlike traditional breeding. Yes, CRISPR-Cas. Yeah.
Cool. Wow. Tell me about the team of research that you work with. Who's on your team?
Yeah.
What kind of cool stuff are they doing?
Yeah, so our center has got about 40 people in it. They specialize in lots of different species of crops, so corn, soybean, sorghum, you name it. Hemp is one of those, many crops that we deal with. My specific team has 3 people on it, 4 including myself, that do hemp research, and we're trying to improve the efficiency of the editing and trying all kinds of different traits to bring to cannabis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you work at all with Dr. Larry Smart from Cornell?
So I know Larry. I haven't worked directly with him yet, but we actually talked about a plan to get something going together on a day neutral type cannabis plant. Yes, yeah, and try to engineer a neutrality into cannabis. So hopefully, we're gonna kick off that at some point.
Excellent. That's what NoCo is for, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. How about the brightest spot in the hemp industry these days?
The brightest spot? I think the growth and the excitement around it. We went through that stage of the roller coaster stage back in the late, teens, where everybody thought they were going to, be rich, and then the next year everybody fell through the floor. I think we're at a stage where we're in this growth period where people are really starting to realize all the benefits hemp can bring and really bring it on in a big fashion, whether it's seeds, whether it's hempcrete, whether it's therapeutics, you name it. I mean, it seems like hemp can do it, and people are starting to grasp that, I think.
And there you go. That is my reporting from the expo floor. I thought it was kind of funny that I just, bumped into the governor of Colorado. Like literally, I saw Commissioner Greenberg because I know her. I was like, oh, there she is. And I went and I talked to her briefly. And then she mentioned the governor. I was like, oh, he's probably right behind me. And I turned around and yeah, there he was. So that was fun. I mentioned in the beginning of the show that I had lunch at the Stanley Hotel with the crew from the Lower Sioux Indian community, Minnesota. Danny, Cliff, Mel, Jesse, Robert, Christy, and Lenoy. And also Cameron McIntosh was there. I made a short little video of all of us while we were waiting to be seated. So I'm going to just run the audio of that right here because you get a sense of who these guys are, and they're a lot of fun to be around. So here I am back at the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park. We're going out to lunch with the crew from the Lower Sioux in Minnesota. So there's 9 of us. We'll see what happens. Who are you?
My name is Clifford Jones.
Where are you from?
From the Lower Sioux Reservation.
And where are you now?
We're at what is this place called? Stanley Hotel.
All right. What's your name?
Christy Shane.
And where are you from?
Lower Sioux.
Yeah, and what are you going to have for lunch?
I don't know yet. Whatever they got.
Tell me who you are.
Jesse Berry.
And what are you looking forward to?
Not dying in a scary hotel.
Who are you?
Who am I? Who are you, sir?
What do you know about this place, Cameron?
I know that it was the subject of a pretty good movie that Mr. Herlock has not seen.
I've never seen it.
Which is a major disappointment, but
that's what I do. I disappoint people.
We're gonna recreate the Frozen Jack Nicholson picture at the end here.
Robert, could you introduce yourself to me, please?
My name is Robert Larson.
And where are you from?
Lower Sioux.
Okay. And where are you now?
At the Stanley Hotel.
And where's that?
In Estes Park, Colorado.
All right, thank you. Mel, can you tell me who you are?
Mel Berry.
And where are you from?
Lower Sioux.
And what are you going to have for lunch?
I'm going to have a bacon cheeseburger at Stanley.
Nice. All right. Can you tell me your name and where you are?
Lenoy is my name, and I'm at the Stanley Hotel.
And where are you from?
From Fairmont, Minnesota.
And how do you know Danny?
That's my guy.
Danny,
Yes.
Can you introduce yourself to me?
My name is Danny.
And where are you from?
Lower Sioux.
Yeah. And you excited to be here?
I am.
What do you think of this guy?
It says the Earl of Dunraven, but I think he might be the 4th Earl of Hemp.
On Saturday at the conference, there was a hempcrete building panel discussion sort of in the afternoon, and Danny Desjardins was part of that. And I'm going to run just the audio of the very end where he acknowledged the support from his tribal council, and specifically the support of Christy Shane, who is on the council and has been very supportive to what they're doing there with hempcrete.
Yeah, so future plans, we hope to build a school out of hempcrete. And then also I want to acknowledge one of our tribal council members is here in attendance with us, and so I think if Christy, if you could stand up, I think that's the key is that we have leadership that is invested into us and continues to invest in us. And so I think that's a really big thing. So if you're part of any tribe or you know of tribal councils, they're kind of tough to work with, and so we're pretty lucky to have the one that we do. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, so there you go. That's sort of an overview of my trip to NoCo. Obviously, a lot more happened at the event than I just reported here. But it was great to connect with so many people like that are old friends now, and I made new friends, and I met people in real life that I had only ever interviewed on this podcast before. And yeah, it's you people that just keep me coming back. I love it. I love the community. And I did a lot of talking about determinate optimism while I was out there, because it's like, how do you justify what it is I'm doing? Well, like I've said this before on the show, but the people that I am covering are the people who are building the future that I am determinately optimistic about. So yeah, hats off to all of you in the hemp industry. There was a lot of talk this year about, bringing people together and having a unified voice and making consensus. And I don't think we're there yet. There's still some little political factions that, I don't know, personality-wise, they don't get along with each other. And there's sort of that, divide between cannabinoid stuff and industrial stuff. And I think it's all wonderful, because what we have to keep in mind is that, it is one plant that gives us so much. I just happen to be, fascinated by the industrial applications and their implications on, the economy and the environment. But I'm also equally fascinated by the implications on human health on the cannabinoid and food side. So, something for everybody. But anyway, I got to get out of here. I got more stuff to do. I know you do too. But I want to give you a heads up on a couple of things. I will be publishing a couple of panel discussions from NoCo. I did get permission from Morris while you were listening to the show. So in the next few days or few weeks or so, I will be putting out some interesting content for you, including a very special episode this coming Saturday. And it has nothing to do with NoCo. This is sort of my acknowledgement of, the 420 holiday. Not sure if that's the right word, but I'm going to be sharing with you a podcast episode from a show called Rumble Strip. It's a podcast series made by Erica Heilman. She covers rural Vermont. She sort of describes it as that she tells the stories in between the stories. Well, a few months ago, she published an interview with a farmer up in Vermont. He comes from a long line of dairy farmers, but now he is a marijuana farmer. So yeah, this weekend, look for a special episode, a special bonus episode, where I'm going to be sharing with you a podcast called Rumble Strip. The episode is called John Rogers, Weed Farmer. So yeah, look for that in your feed. All right, I have rambled at you enough. I'm sure I'm forgetting to tell you something, but that's why you'll come back next week, because hopefully I will have remembered by then. All right, so thanks again to all of our sponsors and all of our listeners. And thanks to Morris Beagle for putting this NoCo Hemp Expo on, and his whole staff of people who kept it running smoothly, and the great lineup of speakers who gave their time. So this industry can learn from each other and move forward. So, okay, that's it. My name is Eric Herlock. I am the senior digital editor at Lancaster Farming Newspaper, the greatest agricultural newspaper in the world. Check us out online at lancasterfarming.com. All right. Anything else? Well, yeah, if you did meet me or see me out in Colorado last week, just to give you a heads up, I've since cut off all my hair. All right, now you know. Okay, until next time, I will see you in the newspaper. This episode of the Lancaster Farming Industrial Hemp Podcast is copyright 2024 by Lancaster Farming Newspaper, part of the Steinman Communications family. Today's show is written and recorded, edited, and produced by Eric Herlock. A shout out to Matt Lee for some production assistance, and the music you hear throughout the show is courtesy of Tin Bird Shadow.
Hey man, but I thought you said you were playing the piano.
Yeah, I was playing the piano.
Industrial hemp.